Statistics, it took over 100 gallons of paint remover to remove all the layers of paint from the woodwork.
Oh.
The house.
So that's why
So it wasn't
wow.
painted. Okay. But the dress and bonnet that's on that mannequin and in the closet, the white linen suit, belonged to Daniel and Emily Jane Huff. And they were friends of Levi and Catherine's. They lived down the street here.
Wow.
She was the bonnet maker in town, so she made bonnets like that for the other Quaker ladies. He was the wagon maker or carriage maker in town. And we know, it's very well documented, he's one of the people who helped Levi in taking the runaway slaves to the next state.
It's the Levi Coffin house.
Upstairs, 3 here, so that's 5. Number 6 is downstairs in the basement. We'll go down there in a minute.
I'm gonna go down to the basement.
So, okay, all the kids up here with me. Okay, sit on the floor here. Sit on the floor. I get a chair. I can stand. Okay, now. So, remember this door that you guys came in? Okay, that's the door we think that the runaway slaves would have walked through. They came into the house as well, just like you guys. The kitchen was down here, okay? Because remember, they would have the kitchen fire going almost 24/7, okay? It was typical in this area that many times people have what was called a summer kitchen, a separate building to keep the heat away from the house. But the fact that it's so cool down here, they kind of did the same thing. The outside stairway, of course, that could be used. There's the inside stairway here, of course. Okay. Now, okay, gotta give you a little bit more history, okay? I'm gonna tell you, we're gonna go over there in just a minute.
Sorry.
Remember, the name of the town was Newport when Levi lived here, okay? They changed the name to Fountain City 2 years after Levi died. So he only knew our town for their own family's use, got 2 horses so that they were always ready to transport the runaway slaves, okay? Now, the wagon did not belong to Levi and Catherine. It belonged to the Thornburg family in Randolph County, about 15 miles north of here. It was used on the Underground Railroad, okay? They all had it, knew the significance of it. We're very glad to be able to give it to us.
So here's the timeline, kind of. So he was born in 1798 in North Carolina, a slave state. We move over here, and the labor store. They moved here in Newport, and now it's Fountain City, 1826. There they are.
They have the Emancipation Proclamation in the store.
And they actually renewed their 50th wedding anniversary after slavery. So that's kind of an amazing legacy to leave behind. Your marriage, your ministry, your business is all centered around ending slavery, protecting slaves, and then your 50th wedding anniversary. How many people lived that long back then, let alone were married that long? Pretty amazing. Carmen's off in the general store, or I should say the gift shop, right? It's just a shrine for the well, Jed, what do you think? Was it a good experience?
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of little brown guys like this, if you had slaves in North Carolina or Virginia or in a slave state, and you had a mulatto child with your slave girl, you could be a wealthy plantation owner, but you would be forced to send your mulatto child up north so they wouldn't be sold into slavery or risk being abused by the culture, right? So that's kind of a weird one to swallow. So Douglas was mulatto. You could almost say Jed would be like symbolic of that. Someone who is blended. Just don't fall down, buddy. So I might have mentioned it that Harriet Beecher Stowe had connections to the Levi Coffin family. There's a lot of connections that you learn later between leaders, business owners, civilians, all fighting the freedom fight. So this is like your central shrine here. Definitely a great location. There's the boats. I think we all remember these pictures from high school history. You saw the slave ships. Cotton is king, right? It's the tobacco cotton kept it going. Fighting for freedom. Frederick Douglass. You guys have to check it out. Get your homeschool crew here, or just come as a family. Right, Carmen? Hey. Are we like a modern day Levi, Coffin, and Catherine Coffin fighting the abortion fight?
Well, and other issues.
Other issues. Well, seems to be the main issue. Oh yeah, look. There's the house. All the original glass panes over there too. Woodwork, brick, all original. Fascinating. And it was the house was privately owned up to like the late 60s too. So, alrighty.
Oh my gosh. How did you pull that down?